Hey you guys, what's up? It's Rockinose54 here, and welcome to the fifth episode of Criterion Roulette. If you guys have never seen a Criterion Roulette episode before, basically what the series is I buy three Criterions, one that I choose, one that a friend chooses for me, and then I just put all the random spine numbers of the collection into like a random number generator, and it picks one, and then I go with that one. I will say, the next episode of Criterion Roulette, I'll be doing a different kind of system. I won't be doing one that I pick, one that a friend picks, and then a random spine number. I'll be doing something a little different, to switch things up. But yeah, so for this episode of Criterion Roulette, I'm going to start off with the one I picked for myself, and that is Breaking the Waves, released in 1996, directed by Lars von Trier. I've seen three Lars von Trier movies before this. I've seen The House That Jack Built, both volumes of Nymphomaniac, and Antichrist, and I really liked all of them. I'd probably have to say Antichrist is my favorite at the moment. That one is like I really, really recommend Antichrist to you guys. It's incredibly disturbing though. Like it's very, very violent. It'll make you cringe. It's very disgusting and disturbing, very gory, but it's really, really good. I would say like, if you can handle that stuff, and also if you have a lot of patience, I would recommend it because it's a very slow burn, but once you're finished it, you'll be glad you stuck around. I really, really liked it a lot. It was one of those ones that stuck with me for like weeks after I literally weeks after I watched it, I would just be like sitting there and then I'd think about it and I'd feel disturbed just from that alone, like just from thinking about it because it was so messed up. But yeah, and then like House That Jack Built was it seemed to be a little more bit more of a mainstream move for Lars von Trier, and it was a really, really good movie. Haven't seen it around since the time it came out. I really want to get the Scream Factory, but it's like I can't find it anywhere like trustworthy and for a good price. And then Nymphomaniac was pretty good, although I actually had to stop watching Volume 2 partway through because I was about to have a panic attack from one scene in it. But Nymphomaniac was still a really good movie. Definitely a very interesting time. I mean, I watched the director's cut, which is like 5.5 hours, like both volumes combined. But I have Breaking the Waves here, a movie I don't know too much about. Yeah, it says on the back here, Lars von Trier became an international sensation with this galvanizing realist fable about sex and spiritual transcendence. In an Oscar-nominated performance, Emily Watson stuns as Bess, a simple, pious newlywed in a tiny Scottish village who gives herself up to a shocking form of martyrdom after her husband is paralyzed in an oil rig accident. Breaking the Waves, both brazen and tender, profane and pure, is an examination of the expansiveness of faith and of its limits. So I'm excited to check this out. Hopefully this won't fuck me up too bad. I mean, like, I wouldn't want it to fuck me up worse than Antichrist. That'd be pretty bad. But yeah, hopefully this will be a pretty good one. We're going to take a look and see what's inside here, and then we're going to pop it in. All right, so here's the front of the case. It's in like a very thick Criterion slipcase. I always love these when they're in like these like really like thick, nice looking slipcases. Then there's the back. Seems to be definitely loaded up with like interviews and deleted scenes and stuff like that. And then in here, there's the front and back there. And then open it up. This is one of the dual format ones, so it comes with the Blu-ray, which is right there, and two DVDs. One is the movie itself, and then the second is the special features. I've never actually understood why some of them are dual format, because especially what's weird is the Criterion for Fantastic Mr. Fox had like two releases. There was one that was just Blu-ray, and then there was another that was dual format. I never understood. I think the one for Moonrise Kingdom might have been like that too, but I'm not quite sure. But yeah, so that's what this one looks like inside, and then there is the booklet. Got a lot of good stuff in there. But yeah, let's pop this in and hopefully it's good. Alright, you guys, so I just finished watching Breaking the Waves, and I gotta say, I thought it was a pretty good movie overall. It was, it was definitely not the way I expected it to go. I honestly thought it was gonna be like very, very like graphic and disturbing and like really, really strange. But it wasn't really. It actually like it's not as like in your face as a lot of other of Von Trier's movies are. It's it's definitely like it takes a more minimalist approach, but it still ends up being pretty devastating. Like, I mean, if you watch this, like you'll probably like feel pretty broken by the end of it, because it's quite a sad story. But as I said, I thought it was a pretty good movie. Like Emily Watson was absolutely fantastic in this. The only other thing I had seen her in actually was Punch Drunk Love, and she was pretty good in that. But holy shit, does she shine here! Yeah, like I definitely like really believe that she was like this kind of like messed up character, and Stellan Skarsgård was really good as well. Um, and the 4K Criterion restoration looks absolutely beautiful on this. Like you would not think that this is a movie from 1996 if you looked at the transfer. But yeah, no, I would definitely recommend this. It's one of the easier Von Trier films to watch in terms of like disturbing content, but in terms of like kind of sad and devastating content, it's definitely kind of high up there as like some of like the most sad. I mean, like not really quite sure what I would there was anything else I would say out of the ones I've seen that's like super super sad. Definitely surprising, I would say, some of his other stuff, but yeah, so if I'd say if you want to get into Von Trier, I would say this is not a bad place to start. It's not as artsy or disturbing as his other movies. So if you want to like really ease into his filmography and get into the more psycho stuff like Nymphomaniac and Antichrist and House That Jack Built, I definitely recommend this as a good starting point. I'd probably give this like a 3.5 out of 5. I thought it was a pretty good movie. As it stands right now, maybe my least favorite Lars von Trier, but I forget actually which volume of Nymphomaniac I rated. I rated one of them a 3.5 and another a 3, and I can't remember which one. But yeah, like I'd say this is probably my least favorite, but it's still a pretty good movie. I would definitely recommend this one. But yeah, so that was my pick for this episode, and I'll pick this up hopefully tomorrow when I watch the one that a friend chose for me. So I will see you guys then. All right, guys. So it is now a couple days after I watched Breaking the Waves, and I am now going to watch the second film for this episode. This is one that a friend recommended to me, and that is Inside Llewyn Davis, released in 2013, directed by Joel Coen and Ethan Coen. This is one that my friend John recommended to me, so thank you very much for the recommendation, John. Um, I've seen three other Coen Brothers movies before this. I've seen Fargo, The Big Lebowski, and No Country for Old Men, and I really like all of those, especially Fargo. Like Fargo is probably my favorite out of the ones I've seen from them, and The Big Lebowski is super super funny too. I actually didn't think that when I first saw it, because I remember I like tried watching it, and I only got about half an hour in, and I thought it was like very unfunny and boring. But then I like watched the whole thing, and I was like, wow, this is really good and really funny. Yeah, and Fargo is just an absolutely amazing movie on all fronts, and No Country for Old Men is pretty good. It starts off like pretty slow, but then like at a certain point, it definitely picks up huge, and it's like a really really entertaining. Josh Brolin and Javier Bardem are great in it. But yeah, I haven't seen Inside Llewyn Davis before. I was glad that John picked this one to recommend because I really need to see more Coen Brothers. And funny enough, they only have one other film on the Criterion collection, that being Blood Simple, which I'm really surprised by. I honestly thought that the Coen brothers would have a lot more on the collection, but yeah, I really hope that this is going to be good. So I'm going to throw you over now to my friend John, who gave a brief little clip explaining why he chose the movie.
What's up, Liam? Thanks so much for asking me to do the friend recommendation for Criterion Roulette. Uh, where to begin with why I picked Inside Llewyn Davis? Um, I saw this movie when it came out in theaters over 8 years ago, or roughly 8 years ago, and I loved it immediately. And I think with every additional watch, it has become better and better to me. It's a very personal film to me in a lot of ways, a film that I feel I can relate to as someone who has been involved in the arts before. And yeah, so it's close to me in that regard. The soundtrack is also amazing, and it is definitely my favorite Coen Brothers film. Um, yeah, I think that's about all I can say without spoiling anything. I am very excited for you to see it and to experience it, and for the special features, because there are some very good supplementary features on the Criterion for this film. But yeah, I hope you enjoy it, and yeah, that's about it.
All right, thank you very much, John, for that clip. And yeah, so this is what the Criterion looks like, front and back. And inside there's the disc, kind of a shortened version of the cover for it. And then out here, I took it out to show you. So there's like a piece by a film critic. I think it said it was a film critic. Yeah, film critic Kent Jones. There's a piece here. The reason I took it out is because there's a really awesome looking poster on the other side, which looks really, really nice. Um, but yeah, so let's pop this one in, and I really, really hope it's good. All right, you guys. So I just finished watching Inside Llewyn Davis, and I liked it. I thought it was a very engaging and compelling story. Starts off a little bit hard to get into, but it doesn't take long before it picks up and definitely makes you interested in what's going to happen. Oscar Isaac was great. His character's such a dick, but like you're still rooting for him for some reason. Um, and yeah, I was gonna say he was really good. I also didn't expect Justin Timberlake to be in this because I saw him in there and I'm like, he kind of looks like Justin Timberlake, but I'm like, no, this is gonna be one of those times where I'm wrong. I'm gonna be thinking it's him and it's not him. And then I look on the back of the case. Uh, there we go. And it says his name right on the back of the case. I'm like, oh my god, that is him. Not to mention Adam Driver actually has a small role in this too. I didn't know that. Another thing I liked about this movie is how funny it is. I did not expect this movie to be this funny, but I was laughing really hard at some things, like the stuff with the cat and John Goodman in the car. Oh my god, that was funny. You know, as I said earlier in the video, I was like, oh, I wonder maybe what the significance of all this, like maybe what the significance of the cat especially will be. Yeah, there is definitely significance with the cat in the movie, and it's super, super funny. Another thing I just really liked is like how like well written the dialogue was, because you know it was just like it felt like real, and it was like actually like compelling, and it was like just really well written. Um, you know, definitely like fit well for the situations the characters were in. Yeah, no, I like this film. Thank you again, John, for the recommendation. I definitely want to see even more Coen Brothers now, which I'm not too sure like of the other ones they've done that I haven't seen, because as I said, I haven't seen Blood Simple. I haven't seen The Ballad of Buster Scruggs either. I know there's more. Like there has to be more, but I just can't remember them right now. Um, but yeah, and this Blu-ray actually has a lot of special features on here. Like there's one thing that's cool is that there's a new conversation with the Coen brothers and Guillermo del Toro on here. There's a 43-minute documentary about the making of the movie, but not only that, there is a 1 hour and 41-minute film documenting a tribute concert for this movie. So that'll be interesting. But yeah, no, I quite enjoy this. I really liked it. I would say that you know, if you like the Coen brothers, I'd definitely give this a watch. And you know, if you think it might just be like all serious, don't think that, because as I said, I did not expect this movie to be so funny. It really, really was. As I said, I was laughing quite hard at a few things in here, but I would give this a 3.5 out of 5. I really enjoyed it. Um, yeah, that's all I got to say about this one, and I'll see you guys hopefully tomorrow. when I will be watching the third and final film for this episode. So I'll see you then. All right, you guys, so now we are on to the third and final film for this episode of Criterion Roulette, which is the Random Spine #1, and that film is White Material, released in 2009, directed by Claire Denis. I've seen one other Claire Denis film before this, which was High Life, and I didn't like High Life, honestly. I thought its narrative was confusing and at times all over the place, and I thought it was really, really boring. And while Robert Pattinson was not bad in the movie, he wasn't given anything to do, I thought. So I thought like his acting abilities weren't really shown there, because if you see movies like Good Time and The Lighthouse, like, if you think Robert Pattinson, oh, he's just the, the hot hunky guy from Twilight, watch Good Time and The Lighthouse, and your mind will change pretty quickly, because it really shows that he can act. But in High Life, I just thought like he wasn't really given anything to do in that one. But yeah, I'm definitely interested to see how this one is. The summary on the back sounds pretty interesting. And even though I didn't like the other Claire Denis film I saw, definitely willing to give her a second chance, and hopefully this one will be pretty good. But yeah, let's have a look inside this one, and then we'll pop it in. All right, so here's a look at the Criterion. I really like the look of this case, how there's like her in the foreground and then the artwork of the guy in the background, and yeah, I really like that. And then there's the back, and this is actually a French film, by the way. I found that out when I bought it. Hopefully, it'll be pretty good. Um, and there's the disc, and I'll take this out. And then there's, it'll focus, focus, focus. There we go. And then there's the booklet it comes with. But yeah, hopefully this will be a pretty good one, and let's pop it in, see how it is. Alright guys, so I just finished watching White Material, and overall I would say I liked it. I definitely think it's better than High Life. Some of the issues I had with High Life were still present in this, but I wouldn't say they were like as glaring, and I would say definitely for one, this was a lot more entertaining than High Life was. The performances across the board were pretty good. Um, the film, as I said, was definitely more engaging than High Life. It was really beautifully shot as well. I will say also, the last like 40 minutes or so are a lot to take in and are very tonally different from everything that happened before it. Um, I'm still not exactly like I'm still not like fully getting everything out of it. I think on this first viewing, so I think a rewatch down the road will definitely be beneficial for this one. Also, these last few nights have been like kind of like tired at random points when I've been watching movies, and it was like it with this. Like the other night, I rewatched The Fate of the Furious, where I just like felt so tired for some reason. Um, so that may have had something to do with it, but I would say I definitely enjoyed this overall, but I definitely do need a second viewing. Um, Overall, I think I would give White Material a 3 out of 5. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing how I'll take in the film on a second viewing, because I feel like I'll probably be able to understand and absorb a lot more. But yeah, so that is the end of this episode of Criterion Roulette. Thank you guys all for watching, and the next episode I will be changing things up a little bit, and I'm really looking forward to that, because change is good. But yeah, so that's going to be it for this episode. Subscribe for more content. Please leave a like on the video if you enjoyed, and remember, you guys, whenever chasing after cats that don't belong to you, say no to drugs.